Hello everybody, my name is Benji, and welcome back to Satisfactory Update 6, where it's actually going to be nighttime soon. I can't find the sun. I think that's the sun? I don't know. But it looks like it's going to be nighttime soon, and last time we went through all of the wonderful biome changes. I need to get out of picture mode. We went through all of the wonderful biome changes up here at the Spire Coast, where I still have my plutonium waste because I'm not going to fix anything in the experimental mode. I'm going to fix everything in early access. That way, when Update 6 comes out on early access, everything will have already been fixed by that point. And we also checked out the swamp and a little bit about the new radar towers. So today's episode is primarily going to focus around the recipe changes and a couple of the other content changes. So one of the things that is new is the map markers, and as you can see, I already messed around with that a little bit. Essentially, you just hit new map marker and you can place it anywhere you want. You can select an icon from any of the monochromes or the stamps, which is why I selected the slug for the cock rock. You can do any sort of color that you want, any of your saved colors you can go on ahead and do. You can make it large, you can make it regular, you can make the render distance on compass very far, near, whatever you want. You can highlight it, you can remove it, you can do anything you want. So the fact that the cockrock one is highlighted should allow us to see a big bright blue beam into the sky way off in the distance. The main issue, I think, is just the fact that I don't have my render distance that far, and it looks like there might be a rock in the way. But functionally, other than that, the only thing that changed map relation-wise is the radar towers. The radar towers obviously now show signals that are found in the area, meaning, you know, Somers loops and Mercer spheres, which are going to be exchanged for something new in future updates. It shows hard drives. It doesn't show hard drive locations. It shows the fauna that is in the area, so you can see down there we've got the lizard doggos, you've got the spitters, you've got the hogs, the alpha hogs, the small spitters, big spitters, the small spiders, big spiders, you've got everything, and then you've got the flora, which are obviously just the berries, the nuts, and the bacon organic. You can also see the resources that are projected to be in the area, and that includes the geysers for the geothermal generator power plants. It includes caterium, it includes uranium, it includes iron, copper, bauxite, whatever. And even if it's unclaimed, it will show you the purity of the node. In addition to these ones, you can see there are 6 impures, no normals, and no pures. Versus if we go over here, this one shows all 6 are pure. And it'll just do that for all of, like, the gas resources. Like here, it shows which ones are claimed, which ones are not claimed, which ones are normal, which ones are impure, which ones are pure. It'll show you everything from the map. So the best thing to do moving into a biome for the first time would obviously, in that case, be to place down one of these radar towers and just see what's in the area before you actually start to do anything. Now, my sensitivity feels really off as soon as I hit that. I think that's an issue with the map, is it messes with your sensitivity. So where is that? Is that in architecture? Might be in organization? Organization. So it does still take heavy modular frames, circuit boards, wire, and crystal oscillators. So this is something that you'll only be able to unlock once you actually have crystal oscillators. You get the heavy modular frames here in tier 4, but you don't actually get crystal oscillators until tier 6, I believe. Maybe even tier 7. Unless it's in the MAM. Looks like it's in the MAM. Actually, I think it's always been in the MAM. Which is the next thing, coincidentally, that we're checking out, because one of the things that I can point out now is the fact that this shows you the inventory slot upgrades, first of all. But second of all, it shows you the MAM unlocks. Well, yeah, here's the map, which is no longer in the MAM in and of itself. It's just here. And then you can see build run upgrade customizer, and you get the awesome shop unlock. And then as I was clicking through, you can see new shop products is something that will appear every now and again in the MAM tiers, or not the MAM tiers, the new shop product, the hub tiers. You'll see new awesome shop product being a piece of this. And I think it's actually, that is the end of them all. So you can see where they're all located there in that click-through. Now, hard drive. It shows whether or not it's completed here, which is very nice, because otherwise you'd have to hover and then wait until it says 100% researched. That's Space Elevator Shadow. Now it'll straight up just say whether it's completed or not, so let's start checking out the new stuff. First of all, obviously, there's the Hog Research, which unlocks a brand new material, the Alien Protein. Then there is the Hatcher Research, which also unlocks an alien protein recipe. I am assuming that those alien protein recipes that are getting unlocked here are specific to that actual part itself. I don't have any stinger parts, do I? I have hog parts, I have plasma parts, I do not have spitter parts. I thought I did have spitter parts. I thought I killed spitters and got spitter parts for them. Evidently not, but it looks like we only need 1 in order to get the bioorganic properties, which we need 5 of that alien protein and 15 biomass, which is not a problem because I save biomass specifically for this. And you can see each of these just go to 1 piece of protein. And that's obviously a constructor recipe as well. Then we can get bioorganic properties, which is a new material in and of itself. And that will give us access to these 2 paths. First of all, the protein inhaler, which is a new medicinal inhaler recipe. The inflated pocket dimension, which is just inventory slots, which gives access to the hand equipment slot, which is locked behind steel. The hostile organism detection, which is actually something utilized on here. And it looks like I can... Ooh, you can search for Mercer Sphere and Somers loops now. You can also just cancel it, or you can go to enemies, and it'll tell you if it's out of range or not. So that's where this goes. Need crystal oscillators for that, which I believe are under the quartz node, but we'll take a look at that in a second. And then there's the structural analysis, which requires that 5 organic data capsules, which you can see the recipe for right there. It's just a 1-to-1 constructor or craft bench 10 per minute. And that gives us access to the rebar gun, which just gives us the standard rebar gun plus the iron rebar. So I'm actually going to get rid of that. That way it's not showing up. Right, it's 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's just a 1-to-1. So we can go on ahead and just easily do it like that. Come back, and boom. Now it should say upgrade to completed. Oh, no, stinger research. Never mind, that was pointless. So Caterium tree. Caterium goes to Caterium ingots, goes to Quickwire and new shop products, probably the Mark II wall things, the wall mounts. Caterium electronics is a key. The zip line is still available. And then the stun rebar is a new weapon, which I will go through all of the new weapon stuff in this video as well after I make a couple of each. Then obviously we get the key item, which unlocks Power Pole Mark II, the AI limiter, and the high-speed connector, which does not require AI limiters to unlock anymore. That's new. Which then unlocks the The AI limiter unlocks the power switch and the smart splitter. The high-speed connector unlocks the power pole Mark III. The bullet guidance system, which is the homing rifle ammo, which, yes, we will be looking into that. And then the two of them together are required to unlock the supercomputer. And the supercomputer obviously does the programmable splitter and the geothermal generators. So I'll go through both of these ammo types and all the other ones as well. Now, mycelia. Mycelia has gotten a huge boost. First of all, biomass research comes from mycelia, and that unlocks 3 things instantly. The first of which is the fabric recipe, which, of course, we know. And the second is the medicinal properties key, which gives us the medicinal inhaler for the vitamin, and the therapeutic inhaler, which is new. So I'm going to unlock that. I need 1 piece of bacon, some mycelia, and an alien organ. 1 piece of bacon. I don't have any mycelia in here. I might have to go hunt mycelia down for that, actually. It's looking like I'll have to go hunt down... Oh, I only needed 1. Some mycelia for that. I can do that later. I'm gonna need a lot. The toxic cellular modification unlocks the gas Nobelisk, which also requires the Nobelisk to research as well as some biomass. Interesting. The fabric takes us down 3 paths. The parachute, which we know how that works. The expanded tool belt, which gives us an extra hand equipment slot. That's handy. We get a new hand slot. And then the synthetic polyester fabric, which is an alternate fabric recipe, which used to be unlocked via hard drives and is now unlocked via the MAM. I might actually have to check Orange Heaven now, because we're using this recipe in Orange Heaven. And if Orange Heaven shuts down, I'd kind of like to know that that's a thing that happened. Let's keep going here with the quartz. So the quartz tree obviously starts with the scannable resource raw quartz. Go find some, put it in, it does that. New shop product for the silica, that's going to be windows, and then blade runners as well. Blade runners used to be Caterium. Now it's silica and mod frames. It was always mod frames, but it was like quick wire and mod frames instead. And then we get an inflated pocket dimension for that as well. And then quartz crystals, same thing, that's like signs and stuff. But then there's the shatter rebar. The shatter rebar is something I really want to mess around with, because it's rebar that's a shotgun. It sounds awesome. And then crystal oscillator, that's right. The explosive resonance application for the pulse Nobelisk requires crystal oscillators. Those are going to be expensive to produce on a mass scale, but mark my words, I'm going to do it. And then we've got the Explorer, that's the same. Radio signal scanning, that lets you scan for crash sites, that's the same. And the radar tower, which is all the same. And then sulfur. Sulfur's the main tree that got just so completely messed up. So you've got the sulfur, and then the sulfur splits in 2. The first one is the experimental power generation. I'm gonna need to take a look at that. I know where to get some quick sulfur. And it looks like I'm gonna need some, because I'm gonna need black powder. And then black powder gives us the Nobelisk and the expanded tool belt. Okay, Nobelisk. Black powder still only requires steel, or coal and sulfur. And then Nobelisks still only require black powder and steel, that's good. And then the smokeless powder. And then there's the rifle and the inflated pocket dimension. The rifle now needs smokeless powder, which we can't actually look at the recipe for. So I'm gonna go grab some sulfur, go grab some stuff that revolves around the black powder and everything. and then I will be right back with whatever we end up unlocking from that. So I grabbed everything that we need to make some black powder for research purposes, and I also grabbed some mycelia, so we can go back into the mycelia tab here and start researching a couple of these things. Most specifically, I wanted to research this, because it's the last medicinal inhaler recipe on the market. Everything else I'll have to research at a later day because I'm actually running out of time. I tried to record this before work, and then I had to do something else before work instead, so I wasn't actually able to. But we have the experimental power generation, which gets me... compacted coal, which requires a hard drive to unlock, and packaged turbo fuel and turbo fuel, which requires packaged fuel, compacted coal, and a hard drive to unlock. Which is rather odd, if you ask me. It's not exactly odd that they put those recipes in the MAM now, instead of just out in the hard drive pool. I'm actually quite, excited that they put both of these here, just so that they're not clouding the pool until I want them, and then I can come here and just grab them. Same with the fabric recipe. But the fact that it still requires a hard drive, whereas this alternate recipe used to require a hard drive and no longer does. That's just an interesting choice. So let's take a look at the smokeless powder here and see what that gives me access to. So, smokeless powder requires black powder and heavy oil residue. And it looks like that's going to be an ingredient in the explosive rebar, in the cluster nobelisk, in the nuclear nobelisk, which is actually radioactive. Yes, it is. And that's scary for me, thanks. Because the whole process of making the encased uranium cells is really stupid. And then there's the turbo rifle ammo, which is just full auto weaponry. So at this point I've actually run out of time to record, so future Benji is going to walk you through all of the weapon types and the weapon purposes once he unlocks them and produces a few. So yeah, I'll see you guys then. Alright, and future Benji here. I have gone through the entirety of the rest of the MAM. So like the Caterium Shatter rebar, or Stun rebar, all the stuff. The AI guidance system things, the mycelia, gas, nobelisks, and all of those things. That's actually something that I didn't do, was get the biomass to make those nobelisks, so let me do that the easy way, because I have like 250 tickets and more counting. So we're doing that the easy way. But as you can see from my inventory, I have a lot of each of the different ammo types here, and we'll be going through and testing those all out once these finish crafting. I'm making 10 of them. So first of all, I want to go through all of the new recipes that have occurred. These are the 3 buildings that have new recipes, apart from, just the standard iron rebar in the constructor, but that one was always there. It always was, it always has been, it always will be, I'm assuming. But the new recipe in here is the smokeless powder. So the smokeless powder, you can see the rates here, take the black powder, which has not changed at all, and heavy oil residue, which you can use either from a byproduct of fuel for later on in the system, for the turbo fuel ammo and stuff like that, in order to power the heavy oil residue for the smokeless powder, or you can just do the heavy oil residue alternate recipe in here, which gives you the crude oil per minute, the heavy oil residue, and then the polymer resin, and then just sink the polymer resin, and then that's just that, and that'll be fine. And that gets you the smokeless powder, which is used in a lot of the advanced ammunition types. So black powder and fine black powder are still both the same. The fine black powder is the most efficient for your sulfur and your coal, using the compacted coal as an extra step, which is an alternate recipe, but that alternate recipe is now unlocked in the MAM. We went over that earlier in the episode. Then there's the stun rebar, which takes the rebar gun, the iron rebar, and the quick wire. It's a 1-to-1, so you don't need to worry about that, and it's just quick wire, so that's pretty nice. Next is the shatter rebar, which is a 2-to-1 iron rebar to shatter rebar, and it also takes the quartz crystals, which makes sense if you're having something fragment. The Nobelisk is the same, black powder and steel pipe. That's nice and easy. The gas Nobelisk is one that I'm actually gonna end up making some new Nobelisks for. It's a 1-to-1, and then the biomass, and we'll see how that goes. And I'll just go on ahead and plonk. I don't need to plonk those in yet. Then there's the cluster Nobelisk, which is the first one that uses the smokeless powder. So smokeless powder 3-to-1 for the Nobelisk to cluster Nobelisk. The pulse Nobelisk, which is a 1-to-1, technically a 5-to-5, and then 1 crystal oscillator. So expensive with the crystal oscillator, and we'll see if it's worth it. I personally don't think it is from what I've seen. The rifle ammo has actually changed its recipe. Its recipe used to be in a manufacturer with like black powder, rubber, and a whole bunch of other crazy crap, and I hated making rifle ammo at the old factory. But now it's just as simple as copper sheets and smokeless powder, and then you get rifle ammo. Don't even need a manufacturer, just need, you know, an assembler, and you're good. And then the homing rifle ammo is the rifle ammo and the high-speed connectors, and it's a 2-to-1 ratio here for the homing rifle ammo. And that's everything in here, so now I can actually just plonk these guys in and, well, find a power plug like that. And now that'll go on ahead and make all of these guys pretty decent rates. And then there's 3 ammo types that are here in the manufacturer. There's the explosive rebar, which takes the smokeless powder, steel pipes, and iron rebar. Essentially just Nobelisks, but iron rebar instead, and then it uses the smokeless powder. The nuclear Nobelisk, which is, it's a huge Nobelisk, it's a huge explosion. And you've got the Nobelisks, the encased uranium cells, the smokeless powder, and the AI limiter. So a little expensive on the Caterium side, very expensive in terms of uranium. And then the Nobelisks are just Nobelisks, so they're pretty simple. And then there's the turbo rifle ammo, which not only requires the rifle ammo, which isn't that hard anymore, just smokeless powder and copper sheets, but also aluminum processing for aluminum casings. Not very many, but enough to be a bit of a pain. And then packaged turbo fuel. So turbo fuel, for anybody who is unaware, turbo fuel has a couple of recipes for it. Of course, I don't have any. Turbo fuel has a couple of recipes for it. The first of which is just the standard recipe, compacted coal and heavy oil residue. Very inefficient. 37.5 to 30, very oil inefficient, not good at all. Then there's the first alternate recipe, the fueled turbo fuel, so fuel and compacted coal to turbo fuel. So using the fuel dilution method, getting heavy oil residue to fuel, that'll be a little bit better, and it's a little more efficient on the coal and sulfur side as well, but still not great. This is your best recipe. Petroleum coke, heavy oil residue, fuel, and sulfur to make turbo fuel. That's the best recipe, the best bang for your buck from oil to turbo fuel. It's just very, very convoluted. So I'll be making a tutorial when I make my weapons factory on turbo fuel, just because I'll have to put up with it and deal with it as a whole. But for right now, I'm not bothering. I'm not bothering to deal with it. Also, you'll notice that I am flying. Alright, I can only make 9, that's fine. You'll notice that I am flying. And I'm flying because Pack Utility is actually working in Early Access, Update 6 Experimental. And I have to thank Marshall for that one. He left me a comment in one of my videos saying, hey, by the way, pack utility works. Smile. And then, now here we are. So let's just go over to the red forest. If I can hit the right buttons. And just see how everything works. I was stupid, I forgot the rebar gun. I have a rebar gun now. So now, let's test it and see how things go. Yes, textures aren't loading. It's not really a huge fan of me going those super duper far distances like that. So it's really not a fan. So let's try out just the rifle ammo first. See if we can find some enemies. Here's one. Ah, of course, autosave. Alright, I'll be back again. Sorry, guys. Alright, autosave complete. You'd be shocked how long those things freaking take. Also, that's interesting. There's a little map border that's viewable there. I don't want to get too close to that, even though I do have God mode on. Ha ha ha, I touched him. So now we can see how the rifle still works. Let's try one of the different weapon types. Let's try the homing. Can I not? I have it on me. Do I not have it on me? Where is it? Ah! I actually have to hit reload. Alright, so we've got this square looking reticle. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Because he's not dead. I know for a fact he's not dead. Alright, let's just find a new enemy. Because we can. Hello. So, like, if I shoot up there... Yeah, you can see it's still... They, like, fly around and they still hit. That's handy. That's very handy. See if we can find that in action again. Find another enemy here to test this on. It's the red forest. There's gotta be enemies everywhere, I thought, going into this. Here's one. Yeah, you can see it, like, really move in there. That's nice. Where is he? Okay, that's pretty cool. Obviously, it burns through ammo super quickly. So that's definitely something that we're going to need to, like, mass produce and bring thousands of on expeditions. Because, like... And then it also obviously gets very inaccurate as you go along. But you can just spray and pray with that. I feel like Rambo. That's awesome. That's cool. Alright, so that's all the new rifle ammo. That's cool. Really like that. Let's check out the rebar gun. Rebar gun has a new reticle as well, obviously. Ah, they were guarding the bauxite node. Of course, of course. Let's see if we can go find some other people around and fuck with them. And try out the new and improved rebar gun. There won't be anybody in the stink. There's gotta be people around here. Well, there's these things, which still aren't actually working for me. I showed that off a little bit in the last video, talking about how they aren't working. There's a doggo! I'm not gonna shoot the doggo, don't worry. Doggo, perfect subject. There's supposed to be a bauxite node around here somewhere. It's been so long since I've actually harvested bauxite from this biome, I forget the location. But it looks like it's right up here. And is there any other friends? I know they used to have a pop-in issue with enemies, but it looks like that issue may have just been solved. But I know for a fact there's more enemies in this biome. Like, the Red Forest is notorious for having... Who's dying? It's a Mercer Sphere. Hello. Come here, you. Quit running. Turn around and fight me like a man. Ooh, my FPS. Oh, there's a new jungle spitter. So yeah, we all know how that goes. So let's try out the stun rebar. See how the stun rebar is. Come here, you. Oh, yeah? Yeah, it'll stun it alright. That's cool. What happens? So it doesn't stun me, it only stuns the enemies. So that's nice. Alright, how about the shatter rebar? Another new reticle. Ooh. Look at that. That is perfect. I think I broke it. I think the stun rebar broke it. So, just like a typical shotgun, the closer you are, the more bullets hit. The more bullets hit, the more damage you do. The more damage you do, the faster something dies. That seems pretty self-explanatory, pretty run-of-the-mill. It's literally a shotgun. Like, look at the spread. Yeah, it's literally a shotgun. So, okay, nice. Shotgun works like a shotgun. Who would have guessed that a shotgun works like a shotgun? Not me. I would not have guessed. Would not have guessed such a thing. So that was the stun, shatter, and normal. Let's try the explosive rebar. Another new reticle. Like that. Sounds like it's up here. Yeah, there's one. Hello. Ooh, 2 shots to kill. Very nice. And that wasn't even direct hits either. That was like, you know, rough hits. Is this where I have... I don't know what's doing radiation. Oh, it's this thing. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. Cool little piece of stuff I had never seen before. So 2 direct hits will kill it. It does do AoE though. So that's nice. That's a really nice, like, ranged instant explosive. Does clear trees, which is a lot better than tossing a normal Nobelisk because you have to toss it and then you have to hit the button. But speaking of Nobelisks, let's try the Pulse Nobelisk next. So, same thing. You bonk it, and it makes you go, essentially, is how I understand it. Like, you toss it. I was a little too far, because I moved a little too fast. But you take it, and yeah, it gives you a pretty decent boost. Pretty decent boost. I don't know if I would call that boost worth it, but it is a pretty decent boost. Don't want to go all the way down there. Alright, sure. That works. How about the Cluster Nobelisks? Ooh, yeah, this'll have some enemies. Right, this is a hard drive. Is the only enemy the radiation? No, there's these guys. It just died. So you can still cancel by swapping, by the way. Good thing to have noted there. Come on, give me some enemies. You know what? I don't need enemies to test the cluster. Here. This'll work fine. Let's attach it to that and see how far the cluster spreads. That's pretty handy. This will be good for clearing large swaths of land, because like you toss it in the middle there, and then hit it, and then it spreads. That's nice. That's very nice. I wonder if it's like fireworks. You can just toss it. Yeah! Oh, that's gonna be awesome! Like raining hellfire. That's perfect. That's gonna be cool. That's gonna be very cool. Alright, and now the long-awaited finale, the nuclear nobles. So obviously, Nuke, gonna be a great big explosion. I would have taken damage right there. I didn't even think it was that big. And then it is radioactive in the same, roughly, blast radius. And then at Site 0, yeah, it's very radioactive at the Site 0. So let's put one here. That way we can see the radiation spread. So the radiation from where it starts, it decays very quickly though, so it's like 45 meters, I'd say, roughly. So let's do that again, since it's fading so quickly. Smack one there. Go out 45 meters and hit it. Yeah. Ooh, maybe even out to 50. So yeah, it is. It's 50. 50 meters of radiation. Very quickly decays. You can see it decaying at the top there. Very, very quickly decays, and then obviously spikes as you get closer. So use these at your own risk. Make sure you have iodine filters in your inventory and you will be fine. But if you want to clear a forest that's already radioactive, there you have it. Oh, that's beautiful. Hang on. Time to grab a thumbnail. Definitely time to grab a thumbnail. Except I don't want to be flailing my arms. Okay, fine. Exclamation point fly, exclamation point fly. Hit H again. I also want to see, can we get rid of these giant trees now? Yes, we can. So, with that is everything I have for you wonderful people. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have all enjoyed. Here, have some orange heaven to leave you off with. But thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, because I know I certainly have. Update 6 is fantastic. I'm loving it. But, without further ado, adios, sayonara, au revoir, hasta la vista, das vidania, wiedersehen, ciao, and goodbye. Please have yourselves all a fantastic rest of your day. Get some sleep if you need to. Don't forget to stay hydrated, and I will see you guys in the next one. This video is in the bag. Later, guys.